Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, and esteemed opponents. Today, I stand here today to oppose to this motion that this House, in past conflict states, this House, this House believes that history textbooks should focus mainly on bottom-up historiography rather than top-down historiography. Before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Hayu Arifin. As the first speaker of the opposition team, will explain why bottom-up top-down historiography more is more beneficial than the top-down historiography. Today, I will present three main arguments. First, post-conflict states need unity and stability above all else, and top-down historiography help provide that shared national foundation. Second, bottom-up historiography, when used at the focus, can deepen social divisions and ripen emotional wounds that society are still trying to heal. Before moving into my main argument, let me briefly challenge the government's case. The government is paying much attention to present stories at what it happened in local areas. These stories are important. When the government makes them the main thing, it can hurt the country that as whole. It can make people feel like they are not really part of the nation. When every group only thinks about what happened to them, people forget that they are all in this together. They lose the feeling that they are connected to the country and its future. The government should help people understand the picture first, and that means understanding the whole nation, not just personal and local stories. This is why the government needs to focus on the nation, and that is what the government should do with the national understanding of the country, the national understanding of what the nation is going through. Before before, to make sure we are on the same page, let me clarify my definition. First, post-conflict states refer to countries recovering from war, civil conflict, genocide, or major political violence. These are societies that are still rebuilding stability, trust, and social unity. Second, bottom-up historiography means teaching history from the perspective of ordinary people, local communities, and personal experience during historical events. And thirdly, top-down historiography focuses more on events, political leaderships, institutions, policies, and broader state development. Ladies and gentlemen, I am strongly believes that in societies recovering from conflict, education must first reboot stability before reopening every division that still exists within society. Now, my first argument is that post-conflict states need unity and national stability above all class. After conflict societies are extremely fragile, people may still carry trauma, anger, fear, and distrust toward one another. Different ethnic groups, religions, or communities may still blame each other for what happened in past. In this condition, schools should become places that rebuild understanding, not space that unintentionally deepen separation between communities. Top-down historiography helps create a national narrative. It allows students to understand major historical events from a broader and more structured perspective rather than only through combining emotional experience. This matters because countries recovering from violence need citizens who feel connected to one nation, not trapped inside identities built around suffering and resentment. For example, after the genocide, the government carefully designed history education to reduce ethnic hostility and strengthen national identity. The goal was not to erase suffering, but to prevent classroom from becoming space that repeat division and hatred. According to research from the United Nations Development Program, long-term recovery after conflict depends heavily on rebuilding trust and creating a shared sense of belonging. Bottom-up historiography may sound more inclusive at first, however, when it becomes the focus, communities may begin focusing on only one their own pain, while blaming others for their suffering. Of helping societies heal it risks persevering out divisions in a new form. And that is why in post-conflict states, historic textbooks should focus on top-down historiography. Stability and unity must come first, and the history textbooks should have rebuilt national understanding, not deepen separation between communities. My second argument is that if we focus too much on people's personal stories and what happened in their towns, it can bring back bad memories and make people angry with each other. It in places where there used to be fighting different groups of people remembering differently. One group might think they were treated badly, while another group thinks they are just trying to protect themselves. If schools spend much time on these personal stories, students might grow up feeling angry instead of trying to get along. Classrooms can become place when people compare how much they suffered of trying to trust each other. Some research from Stanford says that when we teach kids about peace, we should avoid talking about things that make them angry with each other. Imagine two students from groups that used to fighting sitting in the classroom. If we keep talking about the things that happen, the classroom might not be a place where people can heal and get along. It might become a place where people do not trust each other. This shows that peace is not strong, and education should help keep people safe of making them angry with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, when we look at history in countries that have gone through a lot of conflict, it should not make the problems worse. Rather, help people come together for a better future. We are not saying that ordinary people should not be hurt. We think that it is very important to have stability, unity, and for everyone in the country to understand each other. A country like this cannot get better if people are always reminded of the things that divide them in the past. That is why we strongly oppose this motion, because history in conflict societies should be about rebuilding a shared future for history in post conflict societies, and that is what we believe in. Thank you.